Okay, good morning and welcome back to another session of Java programming language. In the last video, we have started the multi-threading programming. We discussed what is the difference among program, process and thread. A program is set of instruction and it is a passive entity, and when we run that program, it becomes process. That means a process is program in execution and the thread is a sub process. We can have n number of threads within a process, and all the process shares the resources allocated to its parent process. We also discussed that threads can be created by using two methods in Java. The first one is by extending the thread class, and the second one is by implementing the runnable interface. In our previous video, we have already seen how to create a thread by extending the thread class, and we also discussed that the thread can be in one of the 5 states during its lifetime, during its life cycle. That is new, ready, running, waiting and terminated. When the thread is created, it is in new state. When the thread is admitted to the ready queue, it is in ready to execute state, that is in ready state. And when it is allocated the CPU, it is in running state. And when some interrupt come, it goes to the waiting state. And when it has finished the execution or user terminates it prematurely, then it goes to the terminated state. So in this video we'll see some more practical aspects. Let us see how can we suspend a thread for a while. We can use sleep method to suspend the thread for some milliseconds, for some time. We can use sleep method. It takes the time in milliseconds. This 1000 milliseconds means 1 second, and this sleep method throws the checked exception, and it must be enclosed within try block. As I have discussed in my previous videos of exception handling, checked exception is must to handle by the user. Like this. The same code we can copy paste in the another thread. And now let us see the output. This is our previous example in which we have created the two threads, thread A and B. So now you can see how it is running. Now let us see how to create a thread by using the runnable interface. So I'll modify this example only. So in place of extending the thread, I am implementing the runnable interface. Runnable. Okay, now see, this line is giving an error because this sleep method is in the thread class, and since we have not inherited the thread class in class A, now this sleep method is giving error that cannot find symbol. So in order to use the sleep method, you have to use it like this, thread dot thread dot sleep. Okay, now it will run. There is one more problem. Since the start method can be invoked by only the thread object, and now this class A is not a thread since it is not extending the thread class. So let us create a object of thread here. Thread t is equal to new thread, and pass this object A, pass this object OB in this thread OB, and now call the start method with this. So now it should run fine. Now let us try to run the code, and now it is running fine. So this way you can create a thread by extending the thread class or by implementing the runnable interface. Now okay, each thread we create has some default name. Let us try to print that name. We can print the name of thread by using thread dot current thread dot get name. Likewise, let us print the name of this thread, thread dot current thread dot get name. Now let's run it. So thread 0, thread 1, thread 0, thread 1, thread 0, thread 1. This is the default name. What if I want to change these names? I can do that here. We have set name method, t dot set name, and thread A, and let us rename the thread B as B1 dot set name. Thread B. Now let us try to run. So thread A, thread B. So this way we can change the name of thread by using the thread set name method. Okay. Now threads have some inbuilt scheduler, and the scheduler may prefer to run one thread over another thread according to their priority. See, by default every thread have some default priority, and we can print that priority also. The priority ranges from 1 to 10, the 1 being the least priority and the 10 being the highest priority. So if I print the priority of this thread, println thread dot current thread dot get priority. So this will print the default priority of process of thread A, you can see it is printing 5. So 5 is the default priority. If I copy paste this to here, so you can see both the threads have the default priority of 5, 5 being the normal priority. We can change the priority of threads by using the set priority method. So let us try to change the priorities of thread. Let us change t dot set priority, and let's give it the highest priority 10, and ob1 dot set priority, let's give it the least priority, so 10 and 1. Okay, one might be wondering that I have assigned the highest priority to thread A and least priority to thread B, but still the output is same. So why it is so? You see, I am running this program in multi-core CPU, right? Imagine if we assign 2 tasks to a single person, then he can decide which task to give the priority over another task. But if we have two person and 2 tasks, we can assign one task to one person and another task to another person, and both the persons can perform their task concurrently. So likewise, I am running this code in multi-core CPU, and the different cores of CPU can handle the different threads individually and concurrently, right? And this is also a request and not the command. We cannot ensure that if we set the highest priority to some particular thread, that it will run on priority, means it will finish its execution before finishing the before any other thread. It cannot be ensured. So if you don't like these numbers, then we also have we can also set the priority like this: max priority. So it is thread dot max priority, thread dot max priority. And likewise we can set thread dot minimum priority. So if you don't like numbers, you can set the priority like this also, and again the output is same. So we cannot actually predict the output in case of multi-threading programming, and it may vary from in different runs. So till now we have discussed what is thread, what is used, and what are the methods to create the thread. There are 2 methods. A thread can be in one of the 5 states during its lifetime. It follows a life cycle, and there are some methods through which we can suspend the thread like sleep method, which can pause the thread for some time. We can assign priorities to thread, though it is up to the scheduler which thread it will choose. And we can also set the name of the thread. We can rename the threads. It is always good to rename the thread to some meaningful name, as when you have n number of threads to run, you may get confused in names. So it is always recommended to give some meaningful name to the threads. So that is all for today's lecture. In the next lecture we'll see some more concept of multi-threading. Goodbye.